among integral people. Now, I'm going to show you what we have learned about solving complex problems, even the issues about Europe. What to do. And what you're seeing here is a process that we used in South Africa to take down apartheid. Where's Rika? Rika Viljoen, stand up, Rika, from Johannesburg. She and her colleague, Lorraine Lopscher, who was with me on all 65 trips. And Lorraine got her PhD degree the other day at the age of 85. Be sure and pass that idea to Lorraine. So, transpartisanship is required when complexity and diversity in societies outstrip the bipolar political processes that attempt to contain them. Liberal, conservative, progressive, traditional. And when a country is evenly divided into two camps, thus producing a vapor lock. And that, unhappily, is where we are in my country. What to do about it, then, is the issue. Transpartisanship sets the systems right, overcomes decades of extreme views and cultural wars and polarizations. Transpartisan thinking cleans the deck, rewinds the clock, resets the hands. Then partisan, nonpartisan, and even occasionally bipartisan efforts keep the system in motion until something in the future, transpartisan perspectives and efforts are once again necessity. Now, I'm going to say this to you now because there is no group on the planet Earth, even the Harvard faculty, that has the capacity in this group among those integrally informed. But you've got to mobilize to do it. You've got to not be content to do the same thing over and over again. And that's my challenge to you. Now, it's obvious that I don't have that many years left, but I'm full of spunk and Texas spirit. And so I'm... And so I'm using these last few years as a cheerleader. In Texas, call it an ass kicker. Because to whom much is given, much should be required. And you have been given much. And very much like your ancestors during World War I and II, where you had to rise to the occasion in the pre-war and the post-war and after concentration camps. And in your genetics, then, are the stories of bravery and courage, great discoveries. I'm calling upon those now to descend on you like the tongues of fire on the day of Pentecost in Jerusalem. And I keep using religious illusions because I'm writing the preface to one of these books about. Okay. The best way to seek to uncover the master code is by using functional analysis, since this methodology strips away ideology, ego-involved positions, and political correctness to get down to the core of essential functions, which often disguise the very code necessary to deal with those functions. Now, I have a lot of friends who still play the game of progressive and traditional. What they don't realize is that those two things are part of the same thing. When you have heavy purple, red to blue, you have traditional systems, and you call upon Republicans, if they'll still exist. But if you're in New Thought, a lot of my friends are in Boulder, you begin with orange into yellow, turquoise. That's New Thought. And my good friends in Boulder, Barbara Fields, who heads that New Thought Moment, I say, Barbara, what about old thought? Old thought. It's what we recognize in the conversion experience. If all we offer is new thought, where we drink tea and eat crumpets and not realize the nature of conversions, we're going to strip away the capacity in the future of people to engage new thought. Traditional, progressive, are part of the same process, but we have polarized them into two armed camps. My point is that we may have structures that lack the capacity to deal with the kind of problems we've got. Now here is yet another expression of that. On the right side here, these are the evolutionary codes. Beige to purple to red to blue to blue to blue to orange to green to yellow, then into turquoise, coral. So what you need to do is identify where the problem is, where the culture is on this. And that tells you which of these, churches and religion, community development, political gamesmanship, law enforcement actions, environmental rules, NGOs, education policy, economic policy. So if we're dealing with the shift out of green, and many of us are, into yellow, what do? We have green, yellow, green, yellow, green, yellow, green, yellow. Don't have red, blue, red, blue. I'm trying to explain natural design principles, well documented, by the way. And this is how we constructed the new South Africa against all the belief that there would be a civil war. And I said, as Rika knows, there's not going to be a civil war here on my watch. Whenever Graves died, I had a conversation with him a week before. And I said, Claire, what would you like for me to do? He says, Don, I want you to take on the wicked problems. South Africa, Middle East, where people have given up, and see if what I have created has the power to unlock those problems. And I'm totally convinced that it does have. And what will it take to put together a new Europe? Spiral dynamics. And I'll show you how.